Hi everyone, it's Toni here from Scrap Crazy with Toni. Just bringing you a couple of quick projects today. So I've made 2 of these already and thought I'd make the third one here on camera, as it is so simple and really quick to do. We'll be able to do it between 5 and 10 minutes. We'll be able to throw it all together and show you. So I'm part of a swap group and we keep a database, well not me, but the group owner or the group host keeps a database of members' birthdays, and we do actually send little racks or cards to our members on our birthdays. So these I'm actually going to make up and send to our group host, and she will make up a little parcel and sends that off to our members for their birthdays. Now these are really simple, and that's why I thought I'd do the third one on video for you, just to show you. Now they are flat, simple and fairly easy because we do have to send them. They have to go in the post, so obviously they need to be kept flat for postage costs. Now stuff in this video I will be using, I've just grabbed this Prima My Sweet paper pad from my scrapbooking obsession in Yeppoon. It is corner of Barry Street and Queen Street, so head on down, or you can also Google on eBay. Just put in My Scrapbooking Obsession into eBay and you should be able to find stuff there that you can purchase through eBay as well. Now I just used the 8x8 paper pad for this project. However, you can use any sort of paper pad. The 8x8 just happens to fit really nicely with the notebook size. So the notebook itself is actually just under 8 and just under 5, which means that I can cut a piece of paper that's, you know, slightly over 8 and about 10 1/4, I believe. So because we need to have 5 inches on this side, have our little gap in the middle, and then another 5 inches on that side. So if we cut it at about 10 1/4 inches, that should give us just the right size that we can then fold and make a cover for our notebook. So I also grabbed myself a new cutter while I was in there, and thank goodness, because my other one was really starting to cut crooked. I've been doing a very naughty thing with it and cutting my chipboard and stuff like that on it, which was just, of course, it put far too much pressure on it and it started to cut crooked. So with this, I'm now cutting just over 8. I've actually just cut it at 8 1/8. So it's that one mark just over 8. Okay, I'm now going to grab my scoring board and mark that in. So we're going to mark it in at 5, this side. So mark it in from your left, or from whichever your 0 is. Mark it at 5 and then flip it all the way around. So do a full 180, mark it again at 5. That is what is going to give us that 1/4 inch in the middle that we can then use as the spine for our notebook. So of course you can burnish those creases if you want to. Now I'm not going to do it too hard. I'm only doing it very soft, because once that notebook is in there, it's actually going to, it pretty much sits just the right size. So it's going to give itself the dimension as it is once it's in there. Okay. Now that is the cover for the notebook done. So now we're going to go on to our piece of paper, our card, pattern paper, that's the word. So I cut off that top label. And because it's an 8x8 paper pad, it's actually going to fit on that piece of paper perfectly, because remember I cut it just above the 8. Okay, then we just have to decide whereabouts, because we're going to be cutting it down to just under the 5 inches. So I will be cutting roughly 4 by 7/8. Okay, and then I'm going to be tearing to make these strips here with the same paper. I don't want to put too much to waste of this paper, so I'm going to be able to use as much of it as I can. Now, just trying to decide whether I put the flowers down as the base. As you can see, I do have, you know, swap sides, so I just need to figure out which side I'm going to use. So maybe if we cut the flowers on here and then use this as the tear. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to cut, like I said, just before the 5-inch mark. So that is going to be roughly 4 inches and 7/8. Now that is going to be the base. Okay, we're now going to grab out my tearing ruler, put away my board, which I did also buy that. Thank you to Tina. I bought that from My Scrapbooking Obsession just a couple of weeks ago. Silly me cutting my other one with chipboard. I've told you guys in videos before not to do that sort of thing, and then here I am doing it myself. So of course I end up with a crooked cutter and need to buy myself a new one. Okay, so I actually really like that. I'm going to be placing that down there like that. What do you think? I think that's really pretty. Okay, so the first thing is to throw some double-sided tape on the back. As per usual, I am a big fan of double adhesive. So I've got my double-sided tape and I've also got my glue. I've chosen the Art Glitter Glue. This one here dries clear. And I'm also going to quickly ink all edges with a bit of a mint sort of colour. A minty green colour. It's quite a nice one actually. Alright, so here we are. Now again, like I said, I am a double adhesive, or whatever you want to say. Okay. Now, like I said, these are really simple project. It is very fast to put together, which is why I thought that I would throw this one together on camera. Now, as you all know as well, with my nails, even though they are my nails, my lovely, beautiful nails that have got acrylic on them, because I am a biter, I tend to bite my nails. So I need to get the acrylic powder stuff put on top to stop me from biting. Otherwise, I do just rip them straight off. So because of that, it means that I need help to get my double-sided tape up, and I just use my little pokey tool. Now I'm just placing this down. I do not have a set position for this one in the middle here. However, the one on the right, I did want to actually butt up to the edge. And I think I forgot to actually put the ink on both of those, didn't I? So I'm just going to very quickly, lightly go over that. Very carefully, just with the corner of the ink pad, just so you wouldn't even know that I hadn't actually done it. It'll just pick up the bits that are raised. As you might be able to see, it'll just pick up the edges that are raised there, and it does still give the illusion that I had remembered to put that on. Okay, so in the middle now, I have sploshed with some alcohol ink. And I'm just going to do that again now. Now, this is a very simple technique. I have learned it off someone else, and they called it sploshing. I'm not really sure what to call it, but since then I've noticed a few other people have called it sploshing as well. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I have just put a little bit of alcohol ink onto this clear packaging piece. I've then sprayed it with a little bit of water. You can also put a bit of alcohol solution on there as well, and it helps to spread it out. It's entirely up to you and your preference what you would like. So I used some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to, this one is the Flamingo. It is a fairly new range out from Tim Holtz. Now you can let this set and dry naturally. You can grab out your heat gun and dry it fast with the heat gun. However, I'm just going to grab a tissue and quickly dab it dry. You can also grab, if you've got another project in mind, you can also just grab a piece of paper, like a white piece of paper, put it on there, and it will then grab the negative and transfer it on there. Really lovely for things like art journals. Great idea for things like art journals. Okay, now make sure that you clean your desk. I'm a big believer in making sure that we work with a nice, clean and tidy desk. So I'm going to put some of my stuff away. The next one is, I'm going to add this green piece at the bottom here as a little pocket so the single card can be put in. Now this is, again, another piece of paper out of that 8x8. It's actually this one here. There. So it's this one here, and it's got the green on the back of it. Now I did prepare this one earlier as I was making the other two, and I sort of stopped myself knowing that when I made the decision to show you guys this on the video. So again, really simple, not doing too much to put this together. It only takes a few minutes. And you can see that while I was making the other two, you can make a production line out of this and make it a very, very simple and quick project. You could put, 5, 6, 7 of these together in well under an hour, because they really are just that quick. Now, me and my double adhesive, double-sided tape, the wet glue. Here in Central Queensland, where we are, we're in Yeppoon. So my scrapbooking obsession is actually my local scrap shop. So I know that I'm talking praises with it, and it really does deserve it. It's a great shop. It's got a really huge range for here in Central Queensland, and it's the first time in Yeppoon. This is probably why I'm so excited. It's the first time in Yeppoon for years and years that we've actually had a craft shop. So I've now got a really cute happy birthday stamp. It's really simple. It's more aged towards, kids or something like that, but I use this quite often. It's just a fun little stamp, and it always stamps so quickly, so clearly. It never lets me down. I earlier punched out with just one of my Stampin' Out punches. I punched out that label. I'm then going to use a bit of black ink and quickly just stamp that down there. My good old faithful, it never, oopsie daisies, it never does me wrong. So I've just inked that with the wrong ink, but you know what, I'm gonna have to go with it now. So I probably should have put that green on to sorry. Okay, now with this, I'm going to put some double-sided foam tape just on the bottom, so it's going to sit just over that pocket there. Now again, I love my Express It double-sided tape. I've actually just run out of my 12mm tape and I'm down to my tiny little 6mm. All right, I'm going to, again, just going to lay that down there, and so we still have the room for that. Now see how simple and easy that is? Now the reason why I did that splotching at the back is just to give that extra texture, that extra element of design back there. Now I'm going to add in the notepad. Now I've thrown a fair bit of tape on the back of this, just because we really don't want it to fall out when it gets manhandled and thrown around in, you know, whether it's in the dining room table or if it's in your craft room or if it's in your handbag, whether it sits in the car. We just sort of want to keep it nice and secure. Here in Central Queensland, things do, because of the heat, sometimes one adhesive is not reliable enough. And that is the reason why I like to double adhere things. So because I know my measurements and I've fit my measurements in perfectly, that when you butt your notepad up to, I was aligning it up to this corner here because I knew that it was going to be the correct measurement for that right side. So I knew as long as I got the left side correct, I knew the right side was going to be okay. All right, so now to finish off my notepad, very, very simple again. Clean up the desk. Okay. Now again, really simple. I just grabbed some rose gold washi tape. And believe it or not, I think I actually got this from somewhere like Kmart. So you don't have to do this with washi tape. You should not have to do it either with washi tape. However, I do just throw a little bit of glue down just as extra precaution. Because again, you just never know. In the heat, in the weather, you just never can be sure. So I just put a little bit down as an extra adhesive. And then I grab out some of these flowers. These ones are actually not from the My Sweet collection. These, still Prima, but they're from... Which one are they from? Oh, they're from the Sugar Cookie collection. I loved the Sugar Cookie collection. That was a Christmas collection. It was out for Christmas last year. Now I'm just throwing a bit of glue on the back of them. Now you can use glue dots. If you'd rather glue dots, you can use your double-sided tape. I'm just throwing this on because it's just a little bit quicker. And of course, for the purpose of the video and to show you that you really can make these in just a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. Rightio, so that's actually it. That's done. I'm going to clean up my desk. Thank you very much for joining me. See, so in the space of just 5 or 10 minutes, I've been able to put that last one together, and hopefully whoever receives these in my swap group will appreciate them for their birthday. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for coming. So again, 1, 2, and this is the one we just put together. Nice and simple, easy. It's flat, so it can go in the post. That's it from me. Thanks again, Toni from Scrap Crazy with Toni. Make sure you check out some other videos. Make sure you check out my scrapbooking obsession, whether you're in store or on eBay, or check out their Facebook and, you know, come and say hi. Thanks very much, everyone. Happy scrapping. See you later.